Hello, my friends. The podcasts are back. This time I'm gonna use my Mexican, Russian, Romanian accent to spread some wisdom about betting as usual and about why I think rugby is the best sport for betting. So, why do I think rugby is the best sport for betting? First of all, in rugby, you know what to expect from the teams and from the players always. How many times did you bet, let's say, for example, I don't know, in football, you placed a bet on Manchester United to defeat Stoke by two or more goals to cover the handicap, and United scored the goal, and then in the last 10 minutes it's 1-0 for United, and they just play it safe. You're dying there hoping for a goal, but they don't really care to score another. They are happy with the 3 points. Look, in rugby this never happens, and yeah, I know this may sound like some kind of naive bullshit, but hear me out. First of all, in rugby, from a young age, children are taught to respect the game and to play at a full steam for the whole 80 minutes. So that's one thing about the mentality of the players. They will always push forward, and this is true. It's not just talk. And maybe even more importantly, it's the nature of the game. You cannot hide it being a physical game. You have to play until the end. You really don't have a choice. I mean, this is the way the game is set up. If you start playing light on your feet, you may well get in the hospital. You have to go out and play. And this is especially important when it comes to handicaps. Basketball is a great example. In basketball, you might bet on the Golden State Warriors, to cover a 15-point spread, and they lead by 22 points with 4 minutes to go. Then they take off the starters. I'm sorry about this. They take off the starters. They don't give a shit. They don't even try to score on their last one or two possessions because of the so-called rule of fair play. And you don't even know what happened, and they win by 14 points. And you want to jump out the window because you made a good analysis on the game, but got screwed on garbage time. In rugby, that would happen. That will not happen. If I'm betting on New Zealand to cover a 30-point handicap and they are leading by 20 points with 10 minutes to go, I will feel fairly hopeful and confident that they can cover the spread. I mean, it's not like they can start time wasting or playing it cool or fielding a second string lineup. You can see teams leading by 20 points in rugby and trying like crazy to score another try in the last minute, and if they do score, they will celebrate like they won the World Cup. So yeah, this is very, very important. In rugby there is no garbage time, there is no time wasting. You know what to expect from teams and players, and this for me is the most important thing that makes rugby betting so cool and so profitable. Um, a second thing would be transparency, and what I mean by that, In rugby, the official squads and the official lineups are released at least one day before the match. Also, the absentee list, the injuries and suspensions. Uh, so all these are made public one day before the match. So you know exactly who will play. This gives you a higher degree of control over your choice than most other team sports. You have a higher degree of control and a higher degree of knowledge. And in the same category of transparency, you can include the existence of video review. Yes, video review can work against you just as well as it can work in your favor. But the point is, if you lose because you didn't make a good analysis. You will not lose because a referee screwed you over. Video review makes the game fair. And again, it's all about the degree of control you have over your bet. And if you lose because you made a mistake. Another thing I want to talk about here is the matchups. In rugby, specific matchups are very, very important. Of course, they are important in any sport, but as far as team sports go, rugby is as transparent as it gets in terms of matchups. I mean, there is no switching like in basketball, for example. There is no having a bad day. It's really, you can't go around the matchups because the game relies on physicality. So you have the matchups and you can analyze them pretty clearly, and that will give you a great idea about the game. For example, if you know team X is better than team Y in the scrum, and you will know before the game, that will be a huge thing to know, because it expands your whole knowledge of the game if you know the game, and it helps you draw a proper conclusion. There are more things to talk about here, but I don't want to make this too long of a video, so I will go to the next point, which is there are certain factors which have a huge impact in rugby, more than in any other game. And I'm thinking here about rest and home court advantage. The number of rest days between matches has a huge impact in rugby. Especially in longer tournaments, you can often pick a winner at odds 3 just because of the schedule and the number of rest days. You know, most bettors are not aware of this, but the number of rest days is absolutely huge. If a team has 5 rest days and another team has 7 rest days, boy, that is a huge advantage for the team with 7 rest days. And because the general public isn't very aware of this, the odds will generally provide value. The same with home court advantage. Home court advantage in rugby is bigger than in any other sport, and you know, you can capitalize again on the fact that the general public isn't very aware of these things. In France, for example, you will have the best team in the league destroying everybody at home, but that same team will struggle to win away from home even against the worst teams in the table. So yeah, things to take into account. Lastly, you know, this has to be mentioned. Sometimes the bookies just don't have any idea. Rugby is highly popular only in a small number of countries, and for this reason, sometimes the bookies are completely in the wrong when posting odds. Sometimes they are truly clueless. Of course, that won't happen in big tournaments, but it will happen in reasonably strong tournaments, like let's say the Rugby Europe Championship, the one with Georgia and Romania, or the Pacific Cups with Tonga, Fiji, or Samoa. I still remember watching in absolute shock a few years ago when Fiji was priced at 2.4 to beat Samoa in the Pacific Cup, and of course Fiji won by like 20 points. And I have plenty more examples with Romania's matches. The point is, you can find value in rugby games, that is for sure, because of the lack of popularity of the sport in many countries, and that is a cause, and the effect is that sometimes bookies just post wrong odds. Yeah, okay, guys, that's pretty much what I had to say. So, yeah, look, I can't wait for the Rugby Championship, which will start pretty soon. Let me check when it starts, because of course, I didn't think to check before the podcast. Oh, 18 August. 2 weeks. See you then, guys. Bye. Cheers.